Go.
All right, welcome to Big Mike and Little Ant's channel. As you know, we bring lots and lots of different content to you guys. And today we're doing a spoiler discussion for Fast 9. Now, if you've been watching our channel, you just watched or should have watched our spoiler-free discussion right outside the movie theater, our fresh take, which came out yesterday. And now we're going to do a deep dive, talk about everything, the ins and outs, the good, the bad, everything that we liked and disliked on the spoiler free discussion. What's going on, Ant?
Whew, man. Well, we stood in the parking lot after we finished our review for probably about a half an hour talking about this movie.
Yeah, we did.
So I'm ready to do it again because I'm very um I was this was out of all the movies I seen this year with the pandemic going on.
Yeah,
And last year, I was really antsy to see this movie. I was like, man, it's Fast Nine. It's Fast Nine. It's a big budget. So when we seen it, I want to explain how I feel to all the people. So I'm
right.
ready.
Well, I think I'm sending this out to somebody else. I think you weren't the only one who was very interested because as you and I was sat in the
Yeah.
theater, it wound up being packed to the
Yeah.
gill. So I think a lot of people would like, even though there's been movies out, I guess like Quiet Place and
Hmm.
Conjuring and some other
Yep.
ones that came back out. But I think this one was one everyone was waiting for. And
Correct.
even it was even people sitting in the seats like, the very, very bottom and whatnot. So I was
Yeah.
like, wow, like this might be the movie to bring the movies back. So it does have that going for it. I will say that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Definitely. I hope. Well, let me not say. I was about to say something really silly. I was about to say I hope word of mouth don't kill it, but we're about to do our little thing right here. But it is what it is, right? You watch a movie, you like a movie, you love a movie, or you don't.
And
So,
you know how movies go. Like the first week is when they get the biggest numbers anyway.
yep,
So I think the anticipation will get them, a huge, huge profit, which is good, man. Because at least I think the thing of it is that before we get into this movie is that to get people to feel comfortable. So if they went this
right,
time, whether they like the movie or not, at least they're like, yo, I was cool. I went to the theater. I didn't feel whatever, I was cool. So
yeah,
then when other movies come out like Black Widow or Shang-Chi or Snake Eyes,
yeah,
then you'll see more and more people like
yeah,
like in the theater.
yeah. I definitely want to touch on that because you're right. It's really all about people comfortability right now. After what
Right.
we've been going through with the pandemic, um, man, so many people showed out for this movie. I mean, obviously we got the vaccine that's out, so I know that is a big deal. But yeah, just the fact that you can have this many people came out, I'm dying to hear the numbers, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah, because one thing you and I, especially you, but we've been going to the
yeah,
theater, and I'll be having a whole row to myself a lot of times with
for
it.
real,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
went. I'm trying to think what we seen. We went to the movies last weekend, or maybe 2 weekends ago. My wife and I, and wasn't like this. But again, it's the movie, so that's why we both was really antsy and anticipated this movie because we knew the range of this movie. This is a movie that typically does a lot. You
It's
know,
got a big fan base and a big diverse fan base. It's black,
right?
whites, Spanish, Asians. I think they try to they really cater to everybody. That's one thing about
Everybody.
this franchise. But anyway, man, so let's get into the movie itself, bro. So I mean go off. Go after you. Whatever.
All right, so guys, if you've seen our spoiler free, you know that we liked it. I gave it a 6. Mike gave it a 6.5. And if you didn't see it, it will be in the description below. Now, listen, man, movie's getting out of hand. All right, there's a way to do special effects and crazy stuff that's impossible, but it gave me that feeling of okay, this is just like okay, one of the stunts that was really over the top that I thought was cool, right? Was I remember the one couple fast when they was in Dubai and they was driving the Ferrari or whatever through windows, through buildings and buildings. So I just thought like, okay, it was a bit extra. But if you think the
uh
velocity of a car driving and it gotta go down, and so I thought it was a cool stunt that you could theoretically it couldn't really happen, but you could see how it could happen. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
This
that was
was
more on like a Mission Impossible level type stunt. It was still like
yeah.
believable a little bit. Yeah,
This had so much stuff, and maybe it was the camera angles, because that's play a factor too. This they was just like just throw it in there and let it happen. And it was just a lot of stunts. You was like, what? Like it was just so I don't know. And then making Vin Diesel feel like again we talked for like a half an hour outside of the movie like he was my wife said he was the Incredible Hulk. You know the stuff he was doing. It was just I didn't know if he was supposed to be Chronicles of Riddick. You
It's
know
so
it.
funny. I was watching a review about this Black Lady. Shouts out to Sharonda. I'll pay her weight. I
Okay.
watch her channel all the time. But she said she was like, I feel like they have become real superheroes. I think they all took super soldier serum for this movie, like
Right.
the Captain America serum, and they all became superheroes at this point.
I'm not gonna lie to you. In the beginning, when Tyrese was like, "We never get hurt," I swear, bro, I thought they was gonna have some type of like, you know how the rumor is, they're gonna pair up with Jurassic Park. So I thought like,
Yeah.
well, maybe it's gonna be a swerve. Maybe it won't be Jurassic Park. Maybe they're gonna be like, remember the old guard with Charlize Theron where he didn't
Yeah.
die? I
Uh-huh.
thought
Yeah.
somehow they was gonna switch the Fast and Furious to like, oh, we wait, we're impenetrable or we can't get hurt. Like something mysterious about these people that came together. Because I'm like, bro, the stuff that happens, like, because Tyrese was saying that because it was all the people trying to shoot him, literally like 25 guys shooting him. He's shooting them back. He stopped shooting. It sounded like bullets were still shooting, and people froze and then dropped dead. And he was like, "I didn't get shot." I'm like, "Wait, what?" That was just terrible filming on their part. I don't know.
I think they were trying to like play it on themselves, but I think it was overdone, and
Yeah,
then it made
yeah,
it stupid and whatnot. And I feel like the problem like this, Charlize Theron got another movie. I forget what it's called, but she's like fighting and stuff like that.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
by herself. You probably seen it.
yeah. I know
But
what you're talking
anyway,
about.
I love this movie because one of the action movies where like it was real. Like when she was getting hit,
Right,
she wasn't like bouncing back. Like she was feeling it.
right,
She would win the fight, but she would be like worse for wear. You know
right.
what I mean? Like she would be messed up. She had the same where I think she had to like soak in a tub of ice or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah, yeah.
because she was so hurt. And I feel like the realism, like, yo, like this is the only movie like I ever seen where like people fight and yeah, they win. They always win, right? The hero. But she was showing like, no, I'm bruised. I'm messed up a
Right.
little bit and stuff like that. And this was like total left, where it's like the car's flipping over 10 times and they're walking out like, yo, I was like, yo, come on, bro.
You know
Like,
what it is? I wonder if they wrote the beginning in the movie, and or did they go back and say, "Hey, let's add that" when he was making fun of how they never get hurt? Because I think if you watch the movie and it's like, bro, this remind me of GI Joe back in the day, the cartoon where we used to always joke like it's a million bullets flying, they're just running and no one ever gets
yeah.
shots but the
Well, you know, the
robots.
biggest joke was that was also from the 80s, from the 18. They would say nobody gets hit or
Right,
whatever. They always show these bullets at the 18 and nobody ever gets hit. That was
right.
like a running joke for years and whatnot. And that was true. And this is true too. Like nobody
Yeah.
gets hit. It's
So
like
I
crazy.
wonder if they rewrote like, hey, let's just because through so many times in the movie they made fun of themselves. Like the movie was making fun of itself, but I feel like that's not gonna negate the fact that some of the stuff was just dumb, you know, or silly, you know, or like how'd you not get shot or killed or blah blah blah. So, but I think that was the cover up. Like, hey, let's make fun of, let's not take ourselves too serious.
I do understand suspension of disbelief in movie
Hmm.
theaters, right? Where you suspend all actual reality and logic for sake of entertainment. But it's a
Correct.
levels to that, right? And I feel like that at certain times this went way past that line. Like, so we're like, okay, like even the part where Cena, like where he picks up Diesel and he rams him and his back of his head hits the
Yeah.
wall. He goes through the wall.
Right.
And that should put that should be like a whole concussion. I don't care how built you are. If your head hits the wall,
You know what's funny is before we went to the movies, I was watching one of the recent trailers, and they showed it in the trailer, and I paused
yeah,
it. I said, "Sandy, Sandy, Sandy, Sandy." I rewinded. Look at this. She was like, "What?" I was like, "You didn't notice what just happened?" She's like, "No." I rewinded it. I said, "Look how his head goes through the wall." She was like, "Wow." I literally said
right.
that before I even seen the movie. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like
really? Yo, that beam that's in the board in the wall, man, your head would be like, doom. Like, it ain't breaking through.
right,
Yeah,
right.
concussion. Trust me.
Yes, or knock the hell out. So like again, muscles don't make your cranium stronger. Like that doesn't make
Right.
any sense or
Right.
whatever. Like, and it's like I don't know. It's just like they had a place like they had a good like even like Fast 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
are like the best ones. Probably 5 and 6, and then 7. That's the one with the Dubai you're talking about.
Okay.
But 7 has the tribute to Paul Walker when he died, so
Right.
that kind of made that one special. Even though
Right.
that kind of went a little outlandish, but you give it a pass. Especially that, because remember that last fight scene with Vin Diesel and Shaw or whatever,
Oh
and it was
yeah,
like
yeah,
the whole building was breaking down,
yeah.
and everybody, and it all
Oh,
broke down. They
is
walked.
that the? So my favorite one is the one with Tony Jaa in it. Which one is that? Is that
That's 7. That's
okay?
7
That
as
same
well.
one. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, on the bus. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We fought Paul Walker on the bus and at the
yeah.
end of the movie and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's good. But that's probably when once 8 came and they were like moving missiles and submarines and shit like that. Like this one came, and now it's just like beyond, bro. And my thing is that listen, man, like you can do like Mission Impossible, James Bond, like
Right.
a whole bunch of other stuff. You can do great action without taking it so far. Even though
Which
it's like even the whole space thing, we talked about that. And then yes, spoiler alert, once again, they do go to space, which you saw in the trailer, kind of sort of in this movie. But that's what made it like once they did that, it went from like just be going over the line to cartoonish to me. Because
so here's
especially
the
the part
thing.
go
In the
ahead, yeah.
trailer, when they talk about when Tyrese jokes and say, "Hey, we got a rocket taped to a whatever car it was," so it
Yeah.
sounds funny, but then when you watch the movie, it's just way over the top stupid. When even before they go to space, when they just have the car trying to beat the plane, right? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
so, but you know what though? I will say this, and guys, trust me, we're getting into it. We're talking about a lot we don't like, but we still enjoyed the movie, so we will explain that. Not saying don't. Yeah, I even recommend you go see it. If you've seen all of them, you still
Oh,
got
it's
to
super
see it.
entertaining, bro.
Still
It's action
entertaining.
packed. It's
Um,
just that if you are a movie person, I would say things will really start to. And Anthony, let me say about Anthony. Anthony is probably, he lets a lot go for entertainment
I
when it
do.
comes to movie stuff like that. So for him to feel that way, it definitely tells you something.
Yeah, I do, man. I let a lot go, and but at the end of this, I was just like, that's why I couldn't give it more than a 6. I was because it was
Yeah,
too many times I was watching. I was like, really? Like it was just so. And then I feel like the plot device was everyone uses a magnet now. Like
yeah.
the good guys' secret weapon was a magnet. The bad guy's secret weapon was a magnet. I was like, yo, what the hell is this? Like that was. I didn't like that.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so you had not, I don't know how many hours, not many hours. You reverse engineered these magnets and put them on all these cars for the end of the movie
Right.
and had them ready to work in these cars. It's just like, and then also had time to go create the
Right.
rocket that can now go into space. It's like it's just a lot. You gotta
The
like,
rocket
yo,
car
the rocket car, right? That can go into space
because
or
it was
whatever
in a car.
that was made by 3 kids and it works in space. Not 3 kids, but 3 guys and it works in
Right.
space. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like NASA has whole engineers that don't that make rockets that still have problems going to space right now
Right.
today. Like some don't make it. Like there's missions that fail we didn't even know about, right?
Yeah.
So they have failed missions, but y'all got a car y'all been dead with a face. Like what the hell? Like that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, man. But you know what's cool though? I think that's why they was trying in the actual movie not to take themselves serious. They was trying to joke about the movie in the movie, and I
But you don't
think
have to do that though, man.
no, I
Like
hear
it
you,
was like,
but I think now there's some they're this is what they are, right? And so the bad thing is if they do another move, they have to back up a little bit. It can't be this silly and this like without reason. But it could have a lot of it was the directing or the editing. Um,
well, I think it was the writing because the writing
yeah,
was where they get all the because the writer apparently the writer who did 4, 5, 6 I think and Hobbs and Shaw he didn't do this movie so
hmm,
I feel like whoever they got new like he just kind of took what he knew and
right.
just made almost like made fun of it and like took it to
Yeah,
like
that's what it sounded like. Yeah,
a whole nother level. I feel like, and I feel like that you don't have to because those movies were good, and they still were grounded in certain ways. Like the whole Han explanation. I was getting to that. Han's back.
oh
Everybody
god,
knows.
bro, talk about one of movies' best secrets. Could have been.
Yeah,
They showed now I don't know if they did this because they felt like okay well the movies we want to get as many butts in the seats
yeah.
period, right? But dude, you don't show people gonna go see Fast First anyway. How awesome would it have been to not know Han was in the movie? Because when in the movie they made it like oh my god and it was like well we don't seen it in the trailer. I mean I know it's still something that happens, but you literally shows it in the trailer, and the movie dolls it up like we don't know. I almost feel like
That's the problem. That's the
yeah,
problem. It's like you pick a lane. Either don't show me in the trailer or in
right,
the movie, just bring them out. Like the movie, make it some big surprise, but we know already. So it's
right,
like it's all confusing. He's in the shadows. He's like
yeah,
lurking, and they're going to look for him. And like, and first of all, let's start with this. Tokyo is not small. Okay, they
right.
go to one little fucking
Oh
vegetable
my
spot in
god.
Tokyo, and he happens to live right there next to it. Like,
They just
come
happen
on,
to be eating dinner right by where his window.
right?
Like for real?
Right. Like even the whole thing, where Han's at, somewhere in Tokyo. Let's go find him. Tokyo? Like that's not saying go find him like on East Trenton. Like that's like in
Right.
Tokyo. Like that's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
And he happens to be there, and then that happens to be the time the guys are coming for the girl, and then he happens like on being on the rooftop with the guys. It's like so much. It's like,
Yeah.
bro. And then again, you played it up like it was some huge surprise. Like, yo, maybe this was Hans last thing he did before he died.
Right.
Let's go
Right.
see where he used to live at. And oh my god, it's Hans. We already know. Like
I don't watch the damn trailer done showed all of that.
yes. It's
Like,
like didn't you say Batman v Superman should have saved Wonder Woman as well,
yep.
right?
Either I always say this. I always say this. They either should have not showed Wonder Woman or not showed Doomsday. One or the other. One of
Right,
them you should have not known, right? And it would have
right.
been so awesome. You'd have been like, bro, I can't ruin it, but you got to go see it for the people who didn't
Yes.
see it, right?
Right,
Same thing with Hans. I'd have been like, it would have pushed that 6. I gave it to probably a 7,
right,
maybe an 8. Maybe I would have
right,
been
right,
like, bro, in movie history, because he was gone for how many movies, right?
right. Like two
Dead.
or three, yeah.
They had
Yeah,
a
yeah.
really good bad guy that killed them, that ended up
Right,
joining them. So,
right,
his death was so meaningful in the series. So his
right.
rebirth would have been like,
Right.
what the hell, man?
And then they're like the way it makes me so laugh because it's like the way she's looking like Michelle Rodriguez plays Letty. She's like, I wonder who could that be? And we're like, yo, it's Hans. Like,
Yeah,
wait,
like,
right,
hey, could somebody tell her it's Hans? Because
right,
it's Hans.
right,
You didn't see the trailer for this movie? Oh man,
right. Like we already know this.
yeah, you didn't.
Like,
That's one of the things you don't do in trailers. You never give away secrets in trailers, right? Why
right,
am I watching like I was mad with the trailer that showed Vin Diesel when the truck was flipping over and he's in it.
yeah,
They literally show him get out. I'm like,
yeah.
wait. I want to be watching it like, how's he getting out of this? No, the trailer showed him jump out and he was fine. I'm like, what the?
It's bad, man. And even the whole explanation of how he survived or whatever. I was just like, really? Like, come on, man. Because like you saw his and when they show his death scene, they showed him in the car, like
Yeah.
at the end when it blew up, right? And then
Yep.
but now he mysteriously is like gone or whatever like that. It's like
Well, the
I
way they did it was, what's dude name? Kurt Russell.
you
What's
know,
his
oh
name
no,
there?
Mr. Nobody.
Mr.
Mr. Nobody.
Nobody was like,
Yeah.
oh, pretty much, I can make anything look like magic and anything look like it didn't happen. But that's not the hardest part. The hardest part is keeping you dead. So when they started to show back what happened and it blew up and he was in the car, I'm like, well, so first of all, that happens in Tokyo Drift, and you think he's dead. They wait
Right,
years later to make Deckard Shaw be the one that killed him, which never
right,
happened in Tokyo Drift, but they just made it, they added it, right? Then they
right.
wait years later to add that he wasn't really in the car, but he was in the car, but they didn't explain how it looked like he was in the car because
So
they
you know
showed.
that. So just in case you don't know, you know that they changed the order of the movies. I don't know if you know that or not.
Right, so they made, yeah, I remember when they did that, yeah.
So they made it to say that everything that happened up to Fast 6 happened before Tokyo Drift,
Right,
and
right,
then they're saying that Han left after 6 to go to Tokyo, and that takes place in Tokyo or
right,
whatever. And
right.
then it's whatever,
Yeah, yeah, I
whatever,
forgot about that, but yeah,
which was the whole retcon by itself or
right.
whatever, because he died in Tokyo Drift and then they brought him back for Fast 5. And the whole Han shit is almost ruining the whole series, honestly. Because he died in 3, they brought him
It's like,
back for
yo,
five
how
and
big of a
six.
character was he?
Right.
Right here, let me ask you this. How big of a character was he for you to whole retcon everything and then give away that he came back to life?
Right. It's like ridiculous,
You
Joe.
changed everything for this character and then gave away that he came back to life.
it's like not making any sense at some point, bro.
Nah.
It's like, yo,
I,
so
I I I can't let in movie history, like I just can't let that go. This is one of the things that's you've seen movies where I'm not gonna get into it, Mike, but you have to, for the love of God, watch The Prestige. So you would have never gave that away, right? I'm not saying the ending.
right,
My favorite ending in a movie, period, is the Stephen King's The Mist. You would have never gave that away in the trailer. Like it's
yeah,
certain things you don't show that Jaws got killed.
right.
Like you don't do these things.
Yeah, I think trailers are getting to be too much, but that's just like not smart. And I
Right.
don't know if it's because, and let me just back up or whatever. It could be the fear, and that's, and I'm going the direction, but the fear of like somebody might be on set who might say Han was in the movie, or somebody could
Nah.
be,
I risk it. I
uh
risk the leak
working
because
in the craft department and they take a picture of Han and instead of
nah, I'm
like
I'm risking the leak. Now, after the fact, maybe if somebody leaked it and then they just said, "All right, well, you know what? He's already leaked. Let's start throwing him in the trailers." But I wouldn't say. I would let it be the mysterious. Yo, I heard there was a picture of Hans is in the movie. I'm telling you, he's in the movie. Like, bro, Hans died. They showed it. That alone
right,
would have been like, is he? Is he not? Anyway,
right.
we could go on and on because this is just
Yeah,
dumb.
I
It's
was
just
talking about
dumb.
movies and movies. It is dumb, but anyway, all right. So beyond Hans or whatever, John Cena, who you were so anxious to see.
Okay,
This guy texted me about Cena.
I
He
did.
was excited to see
I did.
Cena, even though he was a mediocre wrestler. But that's not a hint there. He was excited to see Cena. He was that's his man, so whatever like that.
Yeah.
So how do you think he did or whatever in the movie?
Well, with that saying, I will back up that when I did text you, you said, "Oh, Cena, I should pull up your exact text." But you was like, "Oh man, Cena is a really good actor. I really like him as an actor." No, you said I really like him as an actor. I
I
said
just said,
in the little bit of their movies he
well,
did, you're
I
like, "What
seen
you?"
him more than you seen him apparently, because I seen him in several movies.
No, I
Like I
seen
like
all
him.
the movies you suggested, but bro, it was only that was like 2 movies, 3 movies at
I
tops.
mean, okay, three, not three is enough,
And none of
right?
them was a serious acting role. He was being funny.
But
Anyway,
that's my
but
thing. I think, okay, hold on. I think he has comedic chops, like in
yeah, I agree.
blockers. I think he
Agree.
actually is, and even in WWE, sometimes some of the
Yeah. Oh
jokes and stuff he
yeah.
would do and whatnot. I think
Yeah.
he does. Like I think, okay, put it like this: Rock, Cena, Batista. I think, Cena has better comedic acting than Batista or whatever.
Okay.
Honestly, or whatever. I think Batista a little better, action wise.
Right.
But I think like Cena might have a little more range than Rock's above them all, obviously,
Right.
but Cena might have more range than Batista.
Well, yeah. I mean, so I'll say this: as a wrestling fan, Cena has more personality than Batista, so it just
Right,
makes sense, you know.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'll say this: when I watched Army of the Dead, I didn't. I forgot. Batista was a wrestler that turned to an actor. I just watched it like
yeah,
he
yeah,
just
yeah,
fits so into that movie with the
yeah,
silliness
yeah.
and the weird whatever.
I agree.
But back up to Cena, I don't know, bro. I almost feel like I wanted more. And it was so predictable. I said early in the movie, I said, "Yep." And then when Cena turns and end up joining them, that was so coming, especially with what they did with Deckard Shaw. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I wanted Cena to be more of the bad A guy
It
in
wasn't
here.
that great of a villain to me at all,
Yes,
honestly.
thank you.
Yeah, I
He,
felt like Shaw was a much both
whew,
Shaws, the
yeah,
first brother and the second brother. I felt like they were much better villains,
yeah.
and even when they were like being chased by the Rock in five or whatever, I felt like the Rock had better. Like he was intense or whatever. He was the cop or whatever with the big
Right.
gun, and that fight between him and Diesel was great. This fight was kind of mediocre between him and
Yeah,
Cena
I
or
agree.
whatever.
But you know what
Yeah,
though? I guess long story short, I guess he really wasn't the villain. Long story short, he wasn't really the villain. The other dude was really the rich guy was really the villain. Charlize Theron was really the villain. We
yeah.
just have to agree that he was like they was using him as pretty much like he was this super spy or whatever. But they never really said that he was some major villain and he robs and heists so many things. They was real loose about what he even do, you know?
How about the brother story with the backstory of the father? How you felt
Oh
about
man.
that part?
You know what? Maybe they did a little too much of it, but if they want Cena to be a big player, then it was necessary. I feel like it did more for Cena's character than Vin's character. We never needed any of that. We'd have
Right,
had how many movies with Vin
right,
Diesel's character with Dom?
right,
We
right,
never needed any of it. His character is
right,
established, right?
right,
Without even knowing in great detail. So I think this
right.
was more for Cena's character, but to when they turned the knob and made Cena character good, that's what this was for. This you when you're watching, you thinking it's to build up that why he's so bad or why Dom hates him so much. But it really was to show you why Don was able to give him a pass when he did and for him to turn and be a good guy, which almost just made it dumb to build up these commercials and trailers that he's bigger than Dom, he's faster than Dom, he's everything. But in the end, he's his Dom's little brother that, that. And then you killed my dad, but I'm letting you just, what I'm saying, I get why you did it. It was really for him. And, y'all need to stick to, is he evil or is he good? Like, come, let me know. So I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like that, and I think it also was a reason, I guess, to bring Mia into the picture, because
Right,
if not, it's like,
right.
why would she even be there with them, right?
Let me
Because it's
let me
like
let me ask you this real quick. Was it necessary to? Are they feeling that the series is getting dull? Because wasn't necessary to have Mia, John, the story with Vin's brother? Was it necessary to even bring Han back? Like, what the hell did Han even do?
nothing, basically. I don't think it was even. Well, I think okay. Han was fan service, because a lot of people had
Right,
Han was like the Snyder cut. Like, Han was fan service. A lot of people have been saying we want justice for Han.
right,
Like, the big one on the internet was that how you going to become friends with Shaw if he killed Han.
right.
So they got a whole petition about justice for Han. The thing about it is, you and I are a little older, so we're not used to fans dictating how movies
Yeah,
go.
that's not. That's weird to me. It's weird to me.
Yeah, yeah, it's very weird to me. So now fans are creating petitions, or speaking out, and before you know it, these studios are caving. Like, okay, let's give them
Right.
what they want, and I feel like that's like in disservice of the movie.
Yep.
Like, Han's death should have meant something. It did mean something
It
and
did.
whatnot, and I felt like that. I get, like, I don't like. I think they partnered with Shaw for a greater cause. I don't
Right.
feel like they were like, we're buddy buddy,
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So I get like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So
Yep.
Cypher became Dom's enemy, and Cypher was also Shaw's
Shaw's
enemy. So
enemy. Yeah.
they teamed up to take her down. That don't mean we're fucking best friends or whatever like
Right.
that. So I feel like them whole saying justice for Han, that didn't make any sense to me. Like, this happens or whatever
Right.
sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And
So
the world they're in, deaths are going to happen. Like, it's what
right.
it is.
So we got to get into the ending credit because it ties all into this. So me personally, I don't take anything as like I said, this could be the last movie for me. You tied up everything. So my wife was like, "Well, but at the end they showed Deckard open his door and Han was there. What about that?" I said, "No, that's just like if we got everybody petitioning, right? Oh,
Yeah.
we for Han, but then you just clearly said, but Deckard became a buddies with them. Well, then now we just got to get the whole, hey, look, they actually met. They actually looked at each other, so we already know they're gonna have a conversation. Look, man, you didn't kill me, and I understand that you eventually joined the team. I just want to let you know, you didn't kill me. So, and I know you felt you had to at the time, but it's all good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that. And remember, Shaw was getting revenge for his little brother being hurt and
Correct.
hospitalized.
Because for
And what?
him, they were at fault.
Correct.
Right. Everybody has a perspective.
Right.
Right.
Everybody's perspective. So again, this whole fan service thing, I feel like it ruined the movie. So yeah, he wasn't necessary. Mia, again, yeah, she not necessarily, like, the whole thing where we got to bring her in, but it's like Brian's at home babysitting. You know my problem with that. I'm like, yo, you
Yeah.
gotta let Brian go at some point. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Now he's pulling up in the car at the end, but it's not Brian. I'm like, yo, sometimes characters die. It is okay if a
All right.
character dies. That'd be like you said, if Apollo
Yeah.
didn't if Apollo, like, died in real life or whatever,
Right.
but in Rocky they kept saying, like, yeah, Apollo's coming. Like, you know what
Right.
I mean?
He
No,
went
he
on a
died.
vacation or
Yeah, like, no, he's dead. Like, it's okay.
well, mention what you said about Black Panther.
That's the whole thing about Black Panther. Like, people don't want him to die and whatnot. And I'm worried about that. Like, I'd rather I don't want him to die. The black person, of course, or whatever. Like I
Right.
like T'Challa, but I don't want them saying for movies upon movies,
He's
he's on
off
this
on a
mission
mission.
somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
Or I just spoke to him or whatever like that. He feels like we should do this or something like that. Like no, like it just. I think it takes away from the movie rather than because listen, to me, okay, how you gonna have all these movies where Brian and Dom are so close?
Right.
Brian's always with them, but now he's sitting out all the missions. Like, nah, I'm
Well,
gonna just
I
chill.
think what was cool though is they tried to do what you said in the movie. Dom said, I got a kid now. No, but Brian has a family now. And uh well, Michelle Rodriguez was like, we do too, but we're not him, you know,
Right.
like, and that was the whole underlying tone between them through the whole movie. Oh, do you miss it? Do you miss that life? Because in this movie, they were done with the life for however long, right? So I
Okay.
think they tried to pad what you were saying by saying, well, Brian's cool with walking away, but we aren't, or Michelle Rodriguez wasn't.
Right. But again, number one, he's so close to them. Number two, you're gonna send your wife and mother of your kids on it's a fucking
Well,
dangerous
I
mission.
I did say this. I get it, but that's her brother. They was
Okay.
trying to pad it because that's her brother. That's not his brother. So it's like, you know what? This is my family. I gotta go do this. Hey, we need you to stay home and babysit. And by the way, could you babysit Dom's kid too?
And if we all die, you should take care of the kids and what.
Well, they're in good hands, right?
Right. I'm saying, like, it's just crazy to me. Like, again, like to me, it makes it harder on the writer. You got to write something every movie now. Where's Brian?
Yeah,
Right. So they're in the room like, okay, we're gonna say Brian at this time. Like it's like
right.
like crazy and whatnot. And that's what it'll be for T'Challa if they decide to keep the character. That's why I don't want them to keep him and whatnot for some
Agreed.
reason like that. If you're gonna recast him, I was cool.
Right.
But if you're not, then please kill him. Don't just
Yeah.
say he's off for some mission, stuff like that. Anyway, and before that, what was we talking about? The whole Cena thing. Yeah, I agree with you about the fact that I don't know, man. It's like he was halfway the villain, but halfway
Right.
not. Kind of like you said, or whatever, like that.
Yeah.
I get that they didn't want to just redo Cypher, even though I do like her character and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I think they could have just made him full on villain.
You
Honestly, he didn't have to become like a halfway villain.
You know, the once you just said that, it gave me flashbacks of another movie that fell in his face because they had too many villains. Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire. They
Correct.
had the
Yes.
Hobgoblin, they had the Sandman, they had Venom. It was
Yeah.
like, yo, could you just pick who's the villain for me?
Yes.
There's just too
Exactly.
much going on. Yeah.
And this one had the Cypher,
Yep.
Jacob Toretto's brother, and it
Right.
had the guy, the spoiled kid, the spoiled
Right.
rich kid, or
Yeah.
whatever like that.
Same
It was
thing.
like, yo, like it's too many. Who's the baddest guy? Like I'm
Right.
not worried
Yeah.
about
Which
her.
one?
Whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I don't really get
And
it.
then it's taking
And
too much of the movie to get to who is the baddest one. And it's just like, I don't see, that's the thing. I don't like the movies that's round and round, right? Like,
yeah,
oh, I thought he was the bad guy, but now he joined us, and no, I thought make two then, right?
yeah,
It could have just been Jacob and Cypher,
right, right, right,
right?
right, right,
Or it could have just been Jacob and the spoiled dude, right?
right, right, right,
Damn, it
right,
could have been a
right.
spoiled dude and Cypher and no Jacob. And
Yeah,
it was
I'm
just
saying,
like
like,
that when you add that three, it's always something weird about one of them. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I didn't really feel that. And also, I want to say this too, man. I like movies where, like, okay, we got to get from here to Egypt. How you gonna get there? I don't know. I know a guy who got a plane. Blah blah. This movie, they're going everywhere. I don't know how the fuck they just get wherever they want
Yeah,
to.
they just
How
there.
fast?
They're just
They just
there.
there. Yeah. It's like what
Right.
the hell? They're like, yeah. Oh, he's in London. Okay, we'll be there tomorrow. And we got cars, and we all
Because
set up or whatever.
here's my problem. The movie starts off, and I'm willing to believe they're broke. He's sitting there trying to show his son how to fix this thing. She walk
Yeah.
up and say the water cooler broke again, meaning
Right.
that it
Right.
happens often, meaning that
Yes.
if you had money, you would have had a brand new one and you wouldn't be fixing it, right?
Right.
But so I'm taking it as they don't have that much money, right? But then they got guns and all this stuff. I mean, you guys pick a lane. You poor or you're not. Because
Right.
or do you want to just live poor? You got a child now, but you want to live poor, but then you're not poor. Or are you poor and then you just got money out of nowhere? Because I don't know what the hell's going on with your
Me
finances.
either, bro. It's like crazy. Y'all can get whatever y'all want, whatever weapons, whatever cars, and everywhere though. They get cars everywhere and get cars
Everywhere. The
everywhere.
most
They can get
expensive cars you've seen in your life.
Right. Your planes everywhere. And Dom's car, the big muscle car, how is that everywhere? Like, I don't understand how you always wander with your car in
Right,
every
right.
city y'all go to or whatever, the
Yeah,
black one. I'll give you in Mexico, and you're in
doesn't matter.
Asia. Like, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I'm just like, a lot of that is like, bro, like, I feel like with Fast and Furious, they almost sit there and be like, listen, this Fast, we ain't got to explain that shit.
Yeah, for real, for real. We don't got it.
Yeah.
But what? But how did they get here? Oh, you don't. This is bro. Or you knew? This is Fast and
Yeah.
Furious. You don't need to write that. Like, oh, I don't know. Oh, my
Right.
bad.
I feel like they're like, yo, we gotta worry about that. Like they don't care, but we do. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
say it,
we do.
and I'm
We
with you,
do.
yo. This could have been the last, but it definitely only got one more left in them. I
Right.
feel like if they do make another one, I like again the Hobbs and Shaw franchise better right now,
Yeah.
whatever like that. I think even Idris Elba was a better villain, you know what I mean, than they had the time with John Cena
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um,
Cena just really wasn't a villain to me, man. He never like turned that. I never felt like, even when him and Don met up, like it was just slick little quick talks between each other. It was like I never felt like, oh man, this guy would off somebody.
but you know what's crazy? I didn't feel like he was a villain, but also never felt like he was like this loving brother either. Like I
Right.
never felt either way. Like it
Right.
just felt like he was the guy
He was just the
or whatever
guy.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like there's like this bond that between Brian and Dom, who are not family
Right.
apparently, that you can see on screen. But
Right.
with these two, it felt like they were just two guys.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like,
So let me ask you this: they went in so great detail to cement John Cena as a character. I mean, of all things, he's John Toretto. He's Dom's brother,
Dom,
right?
right.
This can't be the end of him with Fast and Furious, then, right?
Oh no, I'm sure he'll be back.
Right.
I'm sure he'll
Like,
I'm sure he'll either be back in a smaller role helping them out, or just a part of the team helping them out, one or the
right.
other,
Yeah,
or
he's. I
whatever.
think he's gonna do the Rock thing, join the team, and then maybe him and somebody might get a movie.
I don't know about that. He wasn't that good to be
Right.
not him personally,
I
but to
got you.
get a whole movie. I don't
Right.
feel like he like see the Rock's got a different type of fan base and charisma to get a whole movie and stuff like that. And I felt like that. And that Hobbs character had been around for already like 3-4 movies by the time that
Yeah,
happened.
but bro, character wise, this is Dom's brother, and John Cena is playing him. I mean, that's a match, like a match. That I mean, when you found out it was his brother. A matter of fact, why did he even say in the movie it was his brother? Also, whatever. I mean, in the trailers. But anyway, but I mean, this is a character, a person. Now I'm going back to you, John Cena. John Cena ain't such a bad actor. So I'm just saying, it's Fast
I
and
don't see him
Furious.
get
They already
I don't see
fought.
him getting the whole I don't see him getting the whole movie
I
out of
mean,
it, bro.
I
Or
mean,
whatever.
him and someone else to help carry him is what I'm saying. The buddy cop thing.
Yeah, they're talking about they want to do maybe a girl spinoff next. I think that's why they showed that scene with
Right,
all the girls in
right,
Tokyo and whatnot. With like Mia and Letty
right.
and black chick from Game
Yeah,
of Thrones or whatever and all that other stuff like that. I could see that more than I could see a John Cena's based off this movie or
I
whatever.
got you.
I felt like they I felt like it could have been a possibility, but they did not John Cena a disservice. Where like The Rock, I felt like they gave him better lines. He was a better character, even the first one he was in and whatnot.
Right.
And even though he was the one chasing them, you kind of was like, yo, I like this dude or whatever the character or
Yeah.
whatnot. It was almost like he was like a you know what it was too? I'm gonna tell you this. By the time The Rock came in part 5, he was like a refresher for the franchise. It was
True.
like, wow, like
True.
this now when Cena comes in now, it's like the franchise is going down,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how
yeah,
it's
yeah.
going
You're right.
up
You're right.
and whatnot. So I feel like that, but I do feel like he will be in the next
Right.
movie or two or whatever that they try to do.
Right.
The story, like I said, man, like we went on about the crazy stuff or whatever. The story,
Don't
I
make
feel
no
like
sense.
yeah, the villains were too much, but even what they were trying to stop, I still didn't get that. Like I'm still lost on what exactly the device does or whatever like that. It just felt like it
Oh yeah,
was
that's
like
right. Yeah, because the whole thing was they was trying to find two halves of this device that you put together, and the key is a person's hand, pretty much the girl's DNA. So when she touches it, she unlocks it because the
and that
DNA.
was whack too. I'm like, when I heard it was her DNA, I thought they had to take blood from her. It was like she had to touch
Nah,
it. That's
just had
it.
to
Like,
touch it. Just her like her
right.
skin. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, I understand DNA is on skin. When you say DNA, you would think it's some sort of maybe,
Right, right. No,
blood.
she just had to hold it in her hand. This is some I don't know what type of sorcery this was, but it was, you know. But apparently it was supposed to be able to control every weapon on the whole planet. That was its purpose.
Yeah, I expect more, man. I felt like it was like I was like lazy writing or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
isn't it always all the weapons on all the bad guys, most of these movies, stuff like that? Like, it could have been a different.
Yeah, remember the one? It reminded me of the one weapon on Fast. It was called the Eye or something or whatever, where it was supposed to be able to see.
God's Eye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
God's
God's
Eye.
Eye.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's almost similar to me. Yeah, it's I'm saying like it's lazy writing. Let's just make some random MacGuffin that they have to go after, but really it's
and
about
they're
like
never even gonna
no,
use it anyway.
no, I'm never going to use it. It's never going
Right,
to really matter at the end of the day. It's a reason for us to make Ludacris and Tyrese go to space or whatever,
right.
blah, blah, blah. And even that, like I said, that scene was so cartoonish to me because, especially the end where they wound up getting miraculously saved by some other
Right,
astronauts who were out there and they're standing outside waving, like, hey guys. I'm like,
right.
yo, this
And they
is
say, "Oh, look, they
such.
look like minions."
Yeah, I was like, yo, this is
So,
so
so
cartoonish.
before we end this, let's speculate a little bit. How how much do you think the rumors are true that they're gonna merge this with Jurassic Park?
At this point, I could see it.
Okay,
Yeah, I
and
could see it.
I mean, obviously, I'll go see it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but do you think it will work? Like, what's gonna like? Okay, so Jurassic Park is not like we need a time machine or anything because the dinosaurs are actually in real time, just always on some island or something.
I would have to see because on the next Jurassic World. Well, first of all, there was a 5 minute Jurassic World preview that came out this weekend that was on it played before this movie if you watched it on IMAX, which we didn't watch
Okay,
on IMAX or whatever like that. But I will have to see the next Jurassic World movie because that's supposed to have the dinosaurs getting away and on the regular,
okay.
and the world. So I need to
So
see
wait,
that to
wait,
see
wait.
how.
They had when if you watch Fast 9 on IMAX, a 5 minute Jurassic Park thing played before it.
Yes,
Oh, so it
yeah,
might.
was
Oh wow, this might be for real.
it could be, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't include Fast 9
I
though. I
know,
just had
but just the fact that it played before Fast 9.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'll have to see how it is when that comes out. I'm looking forward to that. 'Cause I always love all the Jurassic movies, stuff like that, to
Yeah.
see but I could see them like, yo, we're Dom, we need your team to help get these dinosaurs or something like that. And Tom was like, well, it's all about family, but I want the dinosaurs too, or something like that.
Dumb. A T-Rex ate ate Tyrese.
Right. No,
Bro,
no, a Han, and the Han still comes out some kind of way at the end of the day.
the Raptors evolved and they captured Han. We got to go rescue him.
Right. Well,
We,
family's important.
we
So
got
I'll
to
keep
team
up.
up with the Allosaurus.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, do something. Every movie gotta have fucking barbecue afterwards. I'm like, yo, I like it's again. I said this to you that day. It's a Tyler Perry effect. You're repeating the same things over and over
Yeah.
again, and
It's
you're
almost
going
like at the end of the day, the Tyler Perry movies, regardless of different actors, whatever, it pretty much is the same movie that's played out. It's like
right,
somebody has that same role, somebody has that same role. The person's gonna have their downfall. They're gonna do bad things. They're gonna turn around by the end of the movie, and it's gonna all go off pretty nicely. It's like it's the same damn movie.
right. But it's the same effect, right? So
Right.
Tyler Perry thing is like how, no matter all the things that were wrong kept happening, it still had its core audience, which were like older
Yeah.
black women, right? You could tell them nothing about it. I'm like, yo, this plot was hard, but like, man, I love Tyler Perry. Like they would love it regardless.
Right.
This is the same thing. It's gonna have its core audience regardless, no matter how much bad thing that it does. But I can't help it. I'm gonna watch it because
Yeah.
again, I said to you Friday, I'm invested, right? If I watch 9 movies, I'm gonna watch 10. Obviously, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. Like I can't do it. It's like what was it, Friday the 13th, right? You kept
Right.
watching them or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Kept
saying?
watching
Same
them.
thing.
Kept watching. I've seen
Yes.
every one.
Yeah, same thing. So I'm gonna definitely watch 10, but I do need it to end at this point or whatever
Yeah.
like that.
Me
So
personally, I'm not gonna lie to you. Just end it now. I
yeah,
don't
you just said it.
really. Okay, let me ask you this. If they come out with a 10, what do you need to see that hasn't, you know what I'm saying? You literally have to think of a new bad guy, now we got a new bad guy out there because they're not going to kill him. It's just like, well, technically Cypher's still out there.
I feel like only when I say, and I agree with you, but this movie wasn't an ending franchise movie.
Right.
Like it wasn't a
Well,
big enough ending to end the whole franchise
only
to me.
reason why I would say it isn't the way to end it because Cypher did get away. Now,
Cypher got away,
other
yeah.
than that, they tied up everything for me. Han's back, he didn't die. Damn, what's his name? Brian drove up at the end in the car to go to the
Yeah,
thing to the
yeah,
cookout.
right.
Hans and Deckard Shaw obviously gonna piece things up. I
Yeah,
mean, what else? They I feel like for me, I can be like, listen, everything pieced up, but Cypher got away. Other than that, yeah, I'm good.
yeah. I mean,
To be
I agree
honest,
with you. Yeah, yeah. I
like
agree with you on that.
maybe the movie wasn't good enough that you felt like, damn, I didn't like it more than I liked it, so it sucks that this would be the last one. But for sake of argument, it really did tie up all loose ends. To be honest,
Yeah, and
I
this one
don't.
is not rated a lot well at all. Like I feel like you know what I mean. Like it just you know what I would say. I feel like they can make a better movie than it. That's what I'm saying. I guess I'm saying.
Yeah, yep,
I
I
feel like
agree
I would
with you.
rather go out on a high note than this low note
Right.
or whatever like that. This is like leaving me a bad taste in my mouth. Like for the series, it's like Game of Thrones season 8. Like it's like leaving me like a bad taste in my mouth
Yeah.
for the series.
But
So,
this is I guess the worst thing about Game of Thrones is they advertised that it was the end, right? This
yeah,
at least is like, because they could go out and just never make another one. And you're like, damn, I wonder if they ever make another one because they didn't say it was the end. Or do you want that next one that's like, this is the final fast? Like, is that what you want?
I think they will do that. And I think that that'll get people to come back. People who
Right,
didn't like this one, just the marketing of it being the final fast, will make them come back to the theater and stuff like
right.
that or whatever. And I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, I feel like they're gonna like okay. Once again, they're fans, right? They're gonna hear the critics like, okay, we're gonna go out. We got to go out on a better note than we did last time
Right.
or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Or
Have a
what?
better villain or whatever you got to do.
Or
Yeah.
would you be afraid to spend money and not make that money because the people who didn't like this one?
They're going to make money regardless, bro. I'm telling you, they have the Tyler Perry. They have a core fan base
I got
that's
you.
still going to go. You and I are part of it. We're going to
Oh,
go
hell
watch the
yeah,
movie
hell yeah! I'm watching them
regardless.
ride on dinosaurs. I'm watching them go to space. I'm watching Ninja Turtle versus Fast. I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. Once you're invested, especially like movie goers, it's really hard to get away from that investment. But so I
Right.
think it's fine. But I think that's what they should do. I want to go back. I want to go to my likes in this movie, which is not many, but I do want to talk about what we liked or whatever like that.
Yeah,
Real
yeah,
quick. Here we go. So, I kind of like Letty. I like how she's evolved. I think
yeah,
she's a good fighter now. I feel like she's become Dom's Brian almost,
yeah,
whatever like
yeah. I
that.
agree.
So I feel like he sends her on her own solo mission while he got his own solo mission type of deal. Kind of the way Brian was and stuff
Well,
like
you know
that.
what's cool is he Dom didn't want to be a part of this, and Lady
Right,
just she got dressed and everything in the middle of the night. He was looking like, wait, what? She got her bag. She's like, listen, I'm going. So
right.
that was cool with her character, you know.
Yeah. I feel like that too. And I feel like that uh there is I feel like that I'm sorry. I feel like that and Letty she become more of a leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kind of like the co-leader of the group,
yeah,
just like kind of Dom was or whatever. I
yeah,
feel like I mean that's how kind of Brian was, whatever like that. Like he like yo Dom got to do this or whatever like that. So I like that. I do like. I think Ludacris has evolved also as a character throughout
yeah,
all the movies or whatever. So I feel like he's gotten better. Tyrese is just Tyrese or whatever. He's more
yeah,
like comic relief or whatever
yeah. It's
like that.
comic relief. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think he kind of works in that way. Um, and there's not much else, bro. The story was kind of bad. The action was just over the top. I can't
next
really,
here.
I can't really look. I can't. It's not right. It's not really much else I can say that was great and whatnot. So.
Honestly, so when you brought up when you brought up Letty, I'm trying to say, oh, this was cool, and then I want to nitpick about her driving on a damn motorcycle with the half of the special weapon of the world. Why the hell the person
Well,
gonna get
that
on
I
the
don't blame her
motorcycle with
for.
it?
I'll blame the writer for that or whatever like that. But I
I
do
know,
agree.
but it's like I just feel like I don't listen, guys. We're bombing this movie, but it still is enjoyable. But I really don't. Every time I want to say something good, it's something else I want to nitpick. But the movie wasn't. Listen, if you're into Fast, it's another Fast movie. It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the worst. It gets the job done. Obviously, if you've never seen a Fast movie, why would you even go see this movie? So I think we're talking to a core audience. So long story short, if you've seen the Fast, it's a good Fast. No, long story short, if you've seen the Fast, it's a Fast movie. I'm not gonna say it's a good Fast movie, but it's a decent Fast movie.
And worth
So
watching, yes.
yes, it's worth watching.
Yeah. So for that, I'll keep my same rating 6.5. Any changes for you over the weekend? Or no, same thing.
Hell no. I don't want to bring it down. I'm gonna leave it with that with a six.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's our spoil discussion, folks, or whatever. We'll be back, man. We got Tomorrow War. We're gonna do probably just a review about that. We're gonna do another live spoil discussion
Here, you
for
want me to
Black.
pull up the schedule?
Yeah, sure.
Guys, we got a schedule. Big Mike went through great liberty, and this is no joke. So, today, obviously, we did Fast 9 spoiler discussion. Saturday, July 3rd, we're going to do episodes 3 and 4 spoiler discussion of Loki. Sunday, July 4th, we're going to do our regular Big Mike Little Ant show. That will
It's
be
back.
episode man, we got a lot of episodes in the can. Maybe 29
Yeah.
or 30. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sunday, July 11th, we'll do Black Widow spoiler discussion.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. And then
we might see it together too. We'll work
yeah,
on that. We
let's
might
try
do
to.
it. We might do.
I assume that's what I was thinking to myself. I assume that's what we do.
We probably will. Yeah.
Also, guys, make sure you watch the Fast 9 review, Big Mike Little Ant review, and then Sunday, July 18th. Again, that's going to be our show, and then Saturday, July 31st will be Loki episodes 5 and 6 spoiler discussion. So,
all right.
Yeah, we got this thing on lock.
There we go. Well, for that, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Always watch, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be back this week. Of course, I have more sports shows too coming to you as well. Yeah. And for that, man, I'm Big Mike.
I'm Little Ant.
All right. Out.